Okay, so as an update, I made a few changes and I've managed to be able to capture with two streams. We've got an A and a B, around 40 frames a second. With one stream, which I wonder if that's on the screen anywhere. Yeah, with one stream we can get about 60 FPS pretty comfortably. I played around with a few different things, such as adding more threads to the codec processing. This seems to not matter so much, so I'll just get rid of it. I tried 3, it's fine, worked fine. But the main changes I made were, 1, I increased the number of frames in the buffer. And 2, the one that made the biggest change, it'll be kind of weird to show that off, so I'll just tell you. The one that made the biggest change is that instead of compiling FFmpeg with optimization level 0, I compiled it with optimization level 2. So we now optimize FFmpeg instead of not. And that seems to have sped things up by about a factor of 2, probably a bit more. Yeah, probably a factor of 3 to 4, it seems like. Which is pretty nice. The only problem is this. I am absolutely hammering my CPU. And the reason that's a problem is because when I'm recording, I kind of want to do other stuff with my CPU, you know? Like compile, render a single web page. You know, these are things that would be nice. But this is kind of a problem. So I'll need to think about that a bit more. But the other thing that I did was I actually took a look at the software scale implementation in FFmpeg. I was just sort of digging around in their code, just taking a look how it's implemented. And 2 things stuck out to me. 1, there's a lot of like boilerplate shit. Now, frankly, I don't think that matters. I think that is almost all of it is like a single one-off cost when you initialize the software scale context, and also it probably takes like less than a couple milliseconds. But 2 things did stick out to me. 1, that it seems like buffers are copied a lot. Right, there's a lot of copying going on. I was trying to avoid copying by doing things in place, but it seems like FFmpeg, when you call into software scale, it does a fair amount of copying, or at least it does copy buffers once, or I think twice. I think into a temp and then into the destination. Anyway, it does some copying that I think we can avoid and probably get a bit of a speed up on if we do it manually. But secondly is they seem to have a pretty well optimized SIMD implementation, and I'm not going to try to compete with that for converting the RGB color space into the UV color space. But what they don't seem to have is a GPU accelerated one. I don't know if that would be faster or not. The main benefit that we would get is we can just convert more more pixels at a time, right? So whereas SIMD, you can convert, I don't know, let's say, I think something like 8 pixels at a time. I'm not going to do the math on it. In SIMD, you can convert 8 pixels at a time. We can load more pixels into the GPU and convert them all at once, probably. The big question is about, is the cost of moving the pixels onto the GPU and back onto the CPU going to outweigh the benefit of converting more pixels? I don't know the answer to that, but it might make a fun project. So I may look into that in the future. The other thing I noticed is that the colors are still shit. I don't know why that is. The purple in particular looks quite bad in the recording, and I'm not sure why. We also had a problem with broken frames when we were moving stuff around. You would see I'm not even sure how to describe it, but you would see shit was broken essentially. I haven't done anything to fix that, and I've seen it come back when I tried to compile IBS with optimization level 2. That seems to break things. So clearly I've got a problem somewhere, and I need to fix that. But other than that, I think this is usable. It seems like I can stream to two places at the same time at around 40 FPS, which means I can do it at around 25 FPS. That's not going to be a problem. Which is pretty much what I was hoping for, to get 2 streams at 25 FPS. This architecture is kind of jank, and there's still stuff that I want to do to make it less jank. But this is pretty good. This is pretty good first steps. This is in the point where it's maybe just usable as my main recording device, in particular because I can do this. Doop. Goodbye IBS. It's gone. It can be up there and I can be monitoring it, and you'll never even know. And I can also do this. Doop. Whole screen is blanked. So yeah, we'll bring this back. I may start using this for other projects just to see how stable it is and where the rough edges are. But this is certainly promising. So that's all for the update.